Good morning, boys.
Good morning.
It's not often. We don't normally do one in the morning, do we?
This is a special, gruff episode of Podiots where everyone's a bit sore and hasn't woken up properly yet.
Yeah, welcome to Vidiots, everybody.
ASMR.
Which doesn't really work given that I've only got one microphone, so it's just me grumbling into a microphone. Maybe if someone can come round, one of you come round with your microphone and setup, and just place it slightly further apart than mine, then we can do some proper ASMR.
Can we do like remote ASMR where everyone like just does the same sound at the same time? That might kind of sound ASMR-y.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my coin purse.
Oh God, have you managed to get it all back in?
Yeah.
No, there's just endless coins all over my floor now.
Okay.
But I mean, that means I'm sorted for money though, because I had my life savings in it. So if I ever need to go out shopping, just there's 20p on the floor. I can buy a drumstick.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Oh, a drumstick. I've not had a drumstick in a long time.
Oh, they're amazing. I love drumsticks.
Oh God, I might get a drumstick today at lunchtime.
Oh, treat yourself.
shit.
Peter. You've earned it.
Peter's
Not just a drumstick for lunch. We'll obviously have, 3 tubes
Several.
of fruit pastels as well.
Oh, yes.
I'm not.
Can I pitch another one to you?
Yes.
What about 2 drumsticks and no fruit pastels?
Oh, but you need to have fruit though. It's part of your 5 a day.
That's true. Well, Skittles. Would you consider Skittles?
Taste the rain. Is a rainbow a fruit? I think it probably
Yes.
is.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay, yeah. A Skittles and a drumstick for lunch.
Have you ever tasted the rainbow before?
I've tasted Skittles, but I'm not entirely convinced that they have truly bottled the rainbow there. I think it might be,
Okay.
but then they could get sued. So maybe they have done.
Yeah, because you can't lie on anything. Like if they're saying
No.
taste the rainbow, it must be the rainbow.
Yeah, maybe so.
There's only one explanation.
I think the way I'm imagining it is that they've got several Skittles factories around the world just in prime rainbow locations. So when the end of the rainbow hits a certain spot, it captures that energy and transforms it into little coloured rounds.
Ah, little coloured rounds.
Oh no! My exosuit has been hit!
Hey, speaking of that fella,
Yeah,
the
blue Smartie.
the blue smarty himself, Dave Benson Phillips. I've got a little anecdote to tell.
Oh,
Because I did, I did the tweet, let people know that we're recording Podiots, the classic Dave Benson Phillips Twitter photo,
yeah.
Everyone's favourite.
and I made sure to include one that had a little play button on it to see how many people would sort of try to make it play like a video, because I thought that would be fun.
Okay.
See if I can fool people, make them look like idiots. And then I remembered there was this moment when I was a kid, and I was watching. I think it might have been Fun Song Factory or
Yeah.
something like that, hosted by our boy. And now I don't know what it was. It was a weird fixation I had as a child, and you're going to hear it and think, that's weird. But then you think, when you were a child, you probably thought about weird stuff as well like this.
Yeah.
One thing that I thought I had in common with Dave Benson Phillips was the colour of our fingernails.
Right.
Wow.
Because, and this is why I've been hesitant to tell this story, because I think it's incredibly innocent and it's not problematic.
No,
but
not.
it does involve talking about skin color.
Yeah.
Because Dave is a black man,
He is a
and I
black
am a
man.
white man.
I have noticed that over the past couple of years since
Wow,
we
he
started
does have
obsessing
white
over him.
fingernails.
Yeah.
So yeah, it turns out that if you're white, the skin behind / under your fingernails is sort of a pinkish color.
Yeah.
And for some reason in my head, I thought for the longest time that the skin under my fingernails was white, like Dave's it was. And when you squeeze your fingernail, it sort of goes white for a bit and then returns to its color.
Right.
And then I remember one day looking at my fingernails and being sort of inconsolably upset that they weren't the same color as Dave's anymore. Like something had happened, even though they were presumably always not the same color.
This was my connection to my God, and I've lost
This
it.
was the one thing I had in common with my idol, Dave Benson Phillips. And then it was cruelly taken away from me when I looked at the color of my fingernails and I realized, actually, I don't even have that in common with Dave anymore.
I just find it. I agree with you that kids think weird things, and that is just one of the weird things that kids would think. But I still find it strange that you would even sort of notice that you would look at his nails and go, they're the same as mine. Like, why, I'm just surprised you didn't look in the whites of his eyes or his teeth or something and go, oh, I've got white around my eyes too, and I have teeth. You know?
That's true. We do have teeth.
Yeah.
And he has teeth too.
He
There was
does.
just something about it. I'm not sure what it was. I just saw his fingernails. When I looked at him, I saw the tips of his fingers and I thought, those are white. Hey, so are mine. Until one day they weren't, for whatever reason.
Ah,
Poor boy. Well, hopefully one day you can regain your palish fingernails.
you could paint them.
Well, I just keep squeezing my fingers. I could paint them, you're right. I just keep squeezing them and then let they go white for a bit, and that's how I know we're connected. When truly, it's probably just the juxtaposition of the under fingernail skin to, the rest of the skin color of his hand that makes them look whiter when they're probably the same color as mine anyway.
Yeah, maybe they are. All this time they have been, and you just thought they weren't.
Holy shit, maybe everything's okay.
Some sort of ritual when you want to sort of commune shamanically with Dave Benson. You just squeeze your fingers so that your nails go white.
He knows. He knows.
You take some
Depending
magic
on which one I'm
mushrooms,
squeezing.
You go into a cave and do some cave painting, and then just squeeze your nails, and you become one with the Benson.
Best
Definitely.
3 hours of your life.
What I will say is that wouldn't it be nice if, to go along with your headshot of Dave that you can buy from his store, you can get a hand shot, maybe a foot shot, maybe some leg shots, and then you can just build a little transformer.
Oh
on the
my
wall.
God, that's brilliant. He should definitely
Build a
do that.
Build a Dave, yeah. That's what I think.
It would be like the new craze on the playground. People could like swap arms and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I'll swap
which
it for
shoes
Dave's
have you
legs.
got? He could do Dave in different outfits. One in an exosuit that's been hit.
Yeah. Yes, and one that's not been hit.
Yeah.
Different variants. Right leg, left leg. So many options. So yes, anyway, that anecdote ended with us announcing the launch of the Dave Benson Phillips trading card game.
Yes.
Collect them all, right? Got to catch them all.
Do
or
it.
something.
Be amazing.
I don't know. Anyway, we should probably start the podcast now.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Podiots, the official
Boom.
Vidiots
Boom.
podcast.
Boom.
It's a conversational podcast where we take some questions from you at home and obey the law of the three. Us. So I just had a little bit of a belchy belch there.
Oh,
That's all right.
So,
You're right.
where everybody brings a
thing.
along to talk
Talk about.
Long
about.
to talk
About.
about.
That is.
Oh, that was probably the worst one we've
Yeah, I
ever
think
done.
so, yeah.
How has that happened? 44 episodes in, you thought it'd be good at this, but no, it just keeps getting worse.
Well, I wasn't sure if we were doing the regular one or an belchy one.
Ah, that's true.
So,
We do like the variants, don't we?
yeah.
Never
bit of
mind. I'm Ben.
I'm Peter.
And I'm Michael.
How are we all feeling this morning, boys?
Oh, I don't know. Tired. I've had a week. I've had a week, which I've brought along to talk about later on. So,
How did you fit an entire week into you? That's amazing.
yeah, I don't know. 9 months of gestation, and I've now had my week. It's a very
Congratulations.
healthy, bouncing male week, I've decided.
Oh,
it's a little
good.
boy.
Good.
Okay.
That's what we like to see.
It's a weak male, like me.
Oh,
Just like its dad.
takes after its father.
Yeah.
That's nice. He has your constitution. I can see it.
He does.
In his eyes.
How about you guys? You had a good week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, yeah. I mean, I moved treat day to last night,
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
and I had an unpleasant night's sleep
Oh,
because of it. I fear. I woke up a lot.
For some reason in my mind, I was interpreting that as I just shat the bed.
No, there was no bed shitting.
Oh, good. It's always good.
No bed shitting. Just a lot of tossing and turning, and feeling a bit warm and uncomfortable, and wanting to drink lots of water, and just sort of not feeling great. And now I feel a bit tired, but I'm okay.
And likewise, I think this is an overall sleepy podcast. I didn't get to bed till like 5, 6 a.m. last night, so
crikey, Mikey. That's later than me. But you were here before me.
I went to bed, and then Claudia had to get up for work at like 5 a.m. So I was like, all right, fine, cool, here we go.
Oh, no.
Got up, did the Podiots prep. Can't
Oh,
wait
yeah.
to see what 5 a.m. Mikey put together for Podiots.
Yeah, this is 4 hours of me googling frantically to try and find something. I finally found it at the end, and it's not worth the 4 hours effort. But
Fancy doing anything frantically for 4 hours. God.
Oh, God.
well, sleepy frantically. Like my eyes were closing, but my hands were just tapping away.
What about a marathon? You could do that frantically.
Yeah, I suppose.
Wow,
That's
Ben,
about it, though.
You said the word marathon. This my thing is about a marathon.
Why does that always happen?
Whoa.
Mikey's
That's
thing.
magic.
Mikey always brings an interesting thing, and then before it happens, me or Ben just blow his load early, just by mentioning. Oh yeah, well, it's like
Whoa.
Spring Hill Jack, isn't it? You're like, oh, that's my
Well,
thing.
Oh, for God's sake.
Well, now I've got to clean up this massive load.
It's like breathing. Oh, what? Oh, damn it. The
I was
thing
gonna
I was going
breathe
to cover,
today.
Mike.
I was going to breathe.
My
during
guy
thing.
breathes too. For God's sake. Well, before we hear your amazing thing that you've worked so very hard on, so very
Softy.
thank you. We've got to shout out Pod Squad, of course. Now,
the
Pod
boys.
Squad are probably the most handsome and beautiful ladies and men or others that exist on the planet. And if you'd like to join them, donating any amount in the process and supporting the show and us three Vidiots, then you can go to streamlabs.com/Vidiots official. And if you donate before the next recording, then you get shouted out at the beginning and the end of the show, and you're officially a member of Pod Squad. Or Podron Squadron. Or
Ooh,
whatever
I like that.
whatever you prefer. So, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
We've got Grape Coon, Lord Brotovich, Big Titty Jesus 42, Heinous Anus, Stephen Scodes, The Goatening, Big Nick, David the Knob, Rudy Rutabaga, The Parsnip Man, Captain Loogie, Xavier Ramrez, Gracious Platypus, Top Shagger Cal, Matt Fulton, The Big Shagger, Long Dong Silver, L Bacon 97, Cameron Skelly, Larger Than Life, One Vowel from She-Ra, and Arseface.
Wow. I'm glad there's not much of a censor on these donations because holy shit.
Long Dong Silver is a good one. That's a new one.
It's a great one. They're great ones. So thank you everybody for donating. It doesn't matter what you're able to give or not give. If you're just listening, we appreciate that in and of itself. Please just tell your friends. That goes a long way too. But if you'd like to join Pod Squad and support us financially, then you can do streamlabs.com/Vidiots official. Would you boys like a question?
Yes,
love a
I
question.
would really like a question, please.
This is a topical question, sort of. This comes from Jamie at Trequart Booster. I don't know how to pronounce that, Jamie. Who asks, with Harry and Meghan quitting, which one of you lot would be the best replacement as a secondary royal?
Secondary royal.
Not
Oh,
even
God.
not even an actual main royal, just a backup one.
one of the cast.
Yeah.
Now, it goes without saying, guys, all of us as, patriotic Englishmen believe that Meghan is some sort of devil woman and Harry is a big traitorous idiot, obviously, because
Right.
otherwise we'd be hung, wouldn't we, for our dissent?
Hung, drawn, and quartered for treason.
Yes, and our bits put around the city gates. No, just me.
On a
just me?
stick.
Thank you. On a stick.
I was thinking of Twitch bits there.
Oh, right.
We'd have
We
our
don't get
Twitch bits put around the city.
Oh no, I don't want that.
Yeah, that's worse than the actual bits.
We can't get Twitch bits, can we?
Not on Vidiots, no, but...
No.
Well, then I guess we're saved. We're fine. We don't
Well,
have
no, I
to worry.
think it is real bits then. But
Yeah.
I mean, mine is going to have to be a very large stick if you're going to get my bits on there. Like
They grow back
blimey.
as well, so it's
3
fine.
feet long.
Tiny Peter, big stick.
Yeah,
Am I right?
absolutely.
No, obviously this whole situation is absurd. But let's talk about who's gonna slide into that sort of background.
Who's going to slide
That
into the
background
Queen's
slot.
DMs? Yeah.
Who's gonna slide into the Queen's DMs and say, "What up? What's her name? Liz? What up,
Lizzie?
Liz?
Yeah.
What's up, Lizzie?
It's me, your boy. Just thinking, there's a spare seat over there at the dinner table now that Harry's, defected and joined Al Qaeda or whatever it is the Daily Mail's saying.
Yeah.
I think that Michael Johnson would be a great replacement as a secondary royal / seat warmer at that table.
Seat warmer, yeah.
Seat warmer. That's the title I want at the Golden Palace. Man of the people, Michael Johnson. He'll fart. He'll get down with the working man, and he'll bring the royals back down to the working class roots, which they probably exist about 1,000 years ago.
Yeah. You would definitely have to wear your shreddies, though. Like, you cannot be Michael Johnsoning up. You can't be hotboxing the royal
You can't be
dining room.
royal hotboxing.
Sitting in the corgi room, just filling up that spacious space.
Yeah, there's only so many times you can blame it on the corgis, I think.
When the corgis start dying because of the stench, then, that's the end.
Well,
for
she's
you.
got so many that it'd take a while for her to notice.
She says she's not replacing them now, isn't she? I think
God.
as they die, they're not going to be replaced.
Oh, bless them.
A bit like
God.
the royal family, I suppose.
Michael,
Yeah.
how would you feel about being one of the Queen's corgis?
Okay, that I'd be fine with. Being an actual royal would suck, because you're essentially like a spokesperson for the royal family, and you...
Yeah, it's a PR job, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And could you imagine me going out, like, just meeting all these famous people and just me being there trying to make sense of it all and, like, be, like, this nice face of England. And I'm just farting away, talking shite.
Hello, it's me, Michael.
If you go on YouTube and search Vidiots, you'll find my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
I
I think there's too
farted.
much water under the bridge already for us to, for any of us to suddenly be thrown into the global public eye
Imagine the tabloids, holy shit.
when they found what we'd done.
Prolific farter joins the royals.
New Prince of England once mentioned the Nazis on the BAFTA streams.
Oh, shit, you would be a prince, wouldn't you? You'd be Prince Michael.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Prince Mike.
That's really exciting. And also, I mean, people forget, but just the amount of scrutiny you would be under, it would be horrifying.
Oh yeah, I mean it's all
Things
fun
you've
fun and games talking about who would be best for the job, but in reality, I would not want that job at all. Like,
Nope.
No.
You
there's
get
a-
hounded to fuck.
there was a God, showing my age again. Well, not even my age because this is before my time, but showing my fucking weird sensibilities.
Showing your potential age.
Yeah, there was a Two Ronnies song and dance number they did at the end of an episode once, where it's these two street cleaners, and the first verse is like about how someone's got to sweep the streets. It's, if no one did it, I know it's a mucky job, but and then the second verse is about them saying, like, for example, someone's got to be the queen. But we wouldn't want to. Like, we would honestly rather be street sweepers than, it's done in obviously a more musical way than what I just did.
Spoken word.
But that's, and I kind of agree with it, to be honest. If you've got a simple, honest job, like sweeping the streets, you could clock off at 5 and then, go home and have a nice roast dinner. But
You're able to go out and do things without being hounded by a swarm of photographers and press.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, even in microcosm, like what we do, sometimes when stuff kicks off at work because something annoying has happened or something public has happened that's super frustrating, we have no control over, involving our job. Sometimes you do just think, oh God, I wish I worked at Tesco.
Yeah.
I wish I could just go home and not have go on social media and have people calling me a dick or in comments saying, that guy's a cunt, fuck that guy. It's
Yeah.
like, sometimes you do, and we're not even royals. We're just in a tiny YouTube channel.
We're not even like big YouTubers, and even now we're thinking, too much. Well, not. I don't want to use the word fame, but too much. Too much of an audience.
Yeah.
We obviously very much appreciate everyone who supports us and enjoys our stuff, and for the most part, it's a brilliant job. Especially Vidiots. That was like a fantastic year of just doing stupid shit for and getting paid for it. That was great, but there's definitely still an element of like now and then kind of thinking, God, I kind of wish I didn't just have all these people constantly like watching what I'm doing, and
Wish you could unplug from it all.
yeah.
But if you were just stratosphere shot into the moon area, Peter, and you became Prince Peter, what do you think your role would be? What would you do?
Oh God, I don't know. I think they probably make me in charge of some sort of national trust related.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
charity.
You go visit all the
Perfect for
National
that.
Trust sites.
Yeah. Well, I would, but again, I'd rather just like pootle around a forest by myself rather than with the paparazzi following me, or worse, an actual official photography group that's been sent with me to take all the photos of me.
Oh God, yeah. It's not
you
a
know.
day out anymore. It's a press opportunity.
Yeah.
That's it. You would never be able to do a job again.
No.
Just be followed
Never be
around.
able to go out naked on my balcony again.
No, not after the last time.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
No, we don't.
There used to be next to my college. This is just related to naked balconies, but next to my college there was like a block of flats, and every couple of days there'd just be a naked guy stood at his balcony looking over. It's great fun.
Oh, God.
It's
Was
just a
it
naked
Prince Harry?
balcony. I think it might have been you, Peter.
Oh, yeah, it could have been,
Oh.
actually. What would you do, Ben, if you were Prince Ben?
Oh God, I don't actually know. The whole thing makes me quite uncomfortable. I'd probably just stay inside. I'd be like the Simpsons episode where there's like evil Bart.
Yeah.
That they just
Yeah,
keep in the
Hugo.
attic.
Who eats fish heads?
That'd be me.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I'd just be in some sort of palace in an entire wing on my own that's been condemned, and they just sort of slide trays of food and
KFC.
new game releases under the door. Yeah. We don't talk about him. We needed another person to fill the void left by Harry, but we don't really want him to do anything. In fact, I think they should. The next winner of Britain's Got Talent should be the next royal, because they go on to perform for the Queen, don't they?
They do.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have like all of the winners of the last 10 years fight to the death to be part of the Queen's family.
Yes. Britain's next top royal. I think that'd be good. Put it to the people. Let's change it up.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's get someone fun in the house.
Dave.
Good. Dave.
Dave. Yes.
Dave would do
Okay.
it. Dave would love that job, I think.
He'd be
You
so
think?
good at it.
But
Like,
the thing,
he's the friendliest man. He gets on with everyone. He's renowned. Like, all generations can appreciate Dave.
the scrutiny though. They're like, they said, new top royal used to gunge children.
New Top Royal once told everyone to put their cocks back on Twitter.
New top royal caused bomb scare.
Oh, God. Wow. Yeah. Dave's had a history.
It really has.
I
Really
think the
has.
good triumphs over the bad.
No, he's a good boy.
Always.
Let's move on to another question. This is from Cena at Hey, it's Cena.
Hey,
Oh.
Choose one film. Keep one actor. The rest of the characters are turned into Muppets. Which film do you choose?
Wow.
Oh, God. Let's have a think. What's a very, very serious film?
Obviously, Schindler's List would take a
Oh,
turn.
God.
Christ. I mean, who's the remaining human? Is it the little girl in the coat, or is it Schindler?
Oh, I think it's Schindler.
Or is it just
He's
one of the
saving all
Nazis?
Muppets.
I want to be Hitler to be the Muppet. Imagine being commanded round by Hitler. Oh. Is Hitler even in the film? I don't think he is.
I don't think
don't
he's
know that he
directly
is.
in it. I have seen it, but I don't remember Hitler being in it. But
I can't remember.
Castaway would be quite good.
Yeah.
I'd love to see like a little Muppet surviving on an island.
yeah, is the ball a Muppet, or is that the only real person?
I guess that's the only real part. Well, there's a guy who flies the plane at the beginning, and
Yeah.
there's a few characters, but I just want to see a Muppet deserted.
Please, can the pilot be the only human person in that film, and the rest of it is just Muppets?
I'd quite like
He's
to
got
see
say Muppets.
Muppets King Kong.
Ooh.
Just a giant Muppet, or like Godzilla, just smashing up a city, and one tiny little human trying to coax him down.
Oh.
What about the Avengers? But
Wow.
the only one who's not a Muppet is Nick Fury.
Okay.
So he's putting together the Avengers Initiative, and it's just a load of Muppets. And they fight a load of Muppets. And it's just one man and a load of Muppets.
Assemble.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Imagine Muppet Thanos. Jeez, that would be.
That would be really frightening.
Take 3 puppeteers to operate him.
Yeah. I'd like to see Star Wars done with Muppets, except all of the characters that are currently done with Muppets are done with just humans in makeup. So all the Ewoks, Jabba the Hutt.
yeah.
You know, Jabba's basically a Muppet. He's a puppet anyway. You know?
Yeah.
I want to see a complete inversion of Star Wars.
Nice. Death of Stalin, that'd be quite good.
Yeah.
I want to see a bunch of Russian Muppets, and then obviously Stalin is the big boy human.
That was a film about a bunch of Russian Muppets anyway, wasn't it?
Oh.
I want to see Brokeback Mountain done with Muppets.
Who's the human in
one
that?
human and one Muppet having.
Oh, no.
But which one? Jake Gyllenhaal or I can't remember his name.
Jake Gyllenhaal is the human because the other guy's name we can't even remember.
There we go.
Oh,
That's
we
fair.
should know his name though, shouldn't we? Because he's the really famous
Yeah, I
one who
guess
died
so.
young.
Is
I've
this
not
a
seen it,
YouTube
I don't-
channel idea?
Yeah.
Remaking entire films with Muppets. I'm sure we've
Well,
got
we'd
the
have
budget
to get
for
the
it.
original actors on board. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure they'd be up for it. We only need one of them, so it's fine.
How
How much
they
can that cost? God, I feel like we need to name the actor now.
Okay. I've not
He
seen
played,
it, so
he
I
played
don't
the
know.
Joker, for God's sake. Why has it gone from my head?
Oh, fuck.
Joaquin Phoenix,
No. It
one
was
that
Jared
died.
Leto.
no.
Oh,
Oh, that one, the one that died.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
For God's
Jesus
sake.
Christ. That's
Just one of those things where you know who you can see it and know who it is,
Yeah.
but it's just gone from your brain. So Heath
I didn't
Ledger
know he
would be
was
a
in
Muppet.
that.
Yeah, it's Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal. I've not seen it, but
No, I've not seen it.
So
I've not.
one Muppet.
I've not seen that film. I've not seen it.
seen it.
Ugh.
Yeah, come on, it's not like I'd watch it at home or at all. I'd watch it if one of them was a Muppet, though.
Yeah, me
yeah,
too.
definitely.
That'd be brilliant. It's time for a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd like to go first?
I'll go first.
I'm. Oh.
Oh,
Off you go, Peter.
Okay.
I think
That's me.
you just clinched it.
Just.
Just.
So I've told people on social media that this story is coming about what's been going on this week. I feel like I may have slightly oversold it in that I think it was you, Mikey, who asked me, "Oh, is it the tap situation again, where I had the plumber around and who had me standing in the bath with wet socks holding taps?" And my response to you was, "Yes, but with 100% more threat to life." Now that's
Oh, boy.
technically true in that
Oh, no.
standing in the bath isn't very life-threatening. Therefore, the thing that happened to me is 100% more life-threatening than standing in the bath. But it's not, people were then guessing that, like, I had carbon monoxide leaking from my boiler, or that, like, I'd accidentally electrified all the water in my shower and was standing in it. That didn't happen.
Can I make a request, Peter?
Yes.
You should add one detail in here that's not real.
Oh, God. I don't
Something
know how...
that elevates it to sort of a crazy level, and just see if Michael can identify which is the aspect.
Well,
that isn't
surely
real.
the thing he'll identify is, like, just the one most extreme detail of the story.
Well, just get weird with it. Just get weird with it then.
And the guy who fixed it was Dave Benson Phillips.
Was Dave Benson Phillips exactly? Just go wild with it.
Okay,
He'll never
okay.
guess.
I'll try and hide a little fact in there.
Okay.
So, on Sunday, I got back from being in town. In fact, the best detail of this thing comes a few days before, which is that I got a big shop in. Okay, I got like a £45 Tesco shop in. So I was like, oh yeah,
Nice.
full cupboards, full fridge, full freezer. And on Sunday, I got back from town, and I'd left the dishwasher on while I was out in town. And when I got in, I took a glass out of the dishwasher and wanted to have quite a cold. Well, I just wanted a drink, but the glass was really warm. So I tried running the glass under the tap, and most of the glass like cooled down, like the rim of it, but the base of it is really thick glass, and that was still warm. And I thought, oh, if I pour some squash in that, it's going to be slightly warm. And I live in the first world. I deserve to have cold water or cold squash. So I was like, okay, I'll get some ice out. So went into my freezer. I keep my ice in the bottom drawer, out of the way.
You keep mice in your bottom drawer? Jeez.
Yeah, I
Hang
do.
on.
Yeah, they're all frozen. I thought I'll put a couple of mice cubes in there. That'll cool it down good.
Oh, that's quite cute.
So I went into the bottom compartment of the freezer to get the ice cube tray out. And while I was in there, I noticed, oh, this flap isn't opening. It's like just a hinged flap. I was like, oh, this isn't opening very well. And when I finally forced it open, I realized, oh, yeah, the old classic frost, ice has built up. So I did what I think everyone does, really, which is not remove the things from the freezer and allow it to warm up and melt, or pour boiling water on it. I took a couple of implements out of the kitchen drawer and started chiseling away at the ice.
Oh no.
You're not supposed to do that. Now, I've done that many times in the past, and the reason it's not really ever caused any issues before in the past is I've only ever done it on drawers that pull out of the freezer. And obviously a drawer is just made of like some plastic that comes completely away from the freezer. And if the worst thing that happens with that is you maybe chisel through a plastic drawer and it gets a crack in it. So I'm chiseling away at this frost, and as I'm doing it, I'm like, it smells a bit weird. Why does it smell of like, it kind of smells a bit like onions or something? It's really strange. I was like, there's no onions in here. There's just like ice and like frozen mints. And I continue chiseling away, chisel. And as a little chunk of ice comes away, underneath it, I see, oh God, there's a tiny hole. I've made a tiny hole. And as the ice pulls away, this clear liquid squirts out and goes in my face, in my eyes, on my jeans, all over me. And then it stops. And I'm like, okay, what the hell was that? So I rush into the bath. The first thing I do is rush into the bathroom, tear all my clothes off, and swill myself under the shower for a little bit. Because I was like, I don't know if that was just water or if that was like coolant or what. Yeah. So I wash all that off, and my eyes are like burning. I'm like, what is happening? What's happening? And so I swill my eyes in the sink for a while, and they calm the fuck down. So go back into the kitchen. I did shut the freezer door on the way out, and when I opened the freezer door again, it smells so strongly of this really dodgy smell, and I'm like, okay, there is gas coming out of my freezer now, and it's not air, whatever it is. So shut the freezer door, and I think, right,
just
what do I do?
Contain the smell.
Yeah, it was just contain it. It's pretty airtight, a freezer. And I'm then thinking like, well, the letting agent isn't going to be open right now. I don't really have a number. I've got a number for like an emergency. There's a guy who like will come for people who have gas in their flats, but I don't even have a gas boiler, so he's not. The man who's in charge of gas boilers is not going to be able to help me. And there's like an emergency heating guy, and those are the only numbers I have. So I'm like, oh,
but they don't prepare for freezer leaks.
No, a man who does heating is not going to be responsible for coolant leaking out of a freezer.
Chisel on their freezer.
Yeah, so I sit there and I'm like, do I just leave the freezer shut and report it first thing in the morning? The letting agents can like take it from there. But I'm like, that's clearly a bad chemical that's just come out of there. And I was like, I don't want to sleep in this place, so I could go and sleep at Ben's. Like, Ben very kindly offered to have me if I wanted to stay at his.
While your flat just slowly fills with this mystery gas.
I couldn't have Peter asphyxiating.
Yeah. Needless to say, at this point, I had opened all the windows in the kitchen. I'd turned on the extractor fan in the oven, and I'd shut myself in my bedroom with my bedroom window open, but all the doors closed, so no kitchen gas could get in. But so I didn't really know what to do. And as time went on, and I was just sitting there in bed, like Googling what the fuck just went in my face, I realized that like if it was Freon, it's probably sort of okay in that it's like there's so little of it in a modern fridge freezer that you're going to be fine, basically. If it was an older fridge or freezer, it could have ammonia in it, which is a really, really, really bad thing.
Oh, no.
And Freon, it's telling me on the internet, is a fairly odorless gas. But this stuff that's coming out of my freezer smells really strongly, and it is a little bit like ammonia. It's not quite right, but it smells like ammonia a little bit. So I'm like, okay, I better treat this as though it's ammonia, which, according to the internet, requires you need to report it to like fire and rescue. So I did that. Called 999. The fire department came out in an actual fire engine.
Oh my god!
And they said, show us this fridge freezer. So the best thing is that the lift is out in my building right now, and I live on the 4th floor. So these firemen had to fight their way upstairs with this. They had big tanks on their back, I guess, in case there was some sort of gas leak. They didn't have masks on, but they had tanks on their back. So they charged up 4 flights of stairs. They got in there. When they opened it, they were like, God, that's a really funky smell. That's a really funky smell.
Then they busted out the glow sticks and they just went to fucking town.
Yeah.
Smell the shit.
We all like hotboxed the kitchen. We had a great time. So they said, we don't think that's ammonia. We've obviously come across ammonia plenty of times on jobs, and that doesn't smell like ammonia, but it smells very strong for, any of the other possibilities. So they were like, basically, we don't know what it is, but we're going to get it out of your flat now. So they proceeded to carry it down 2 flights of stairs where there is a fire exit on the back of the building, and they just put it out there. From then on, like this week, I've just had a whole load of just like I had to have it moved down to the ground floor, and like the concierge from the building did that because it had just been left on like the outside of the second floor, because the council won't pick up an empty fridge freezer unless it's placed exactly where your bins are normally placed, that the bin men pick up. And I've just been on the phone to like fridge freezer men or women and the letting agent trying to get a new fridge freezer put in. But
holy shit.
Yeah, I made a hole in the casing on like the actual, freezer itself, not a drawer, on the bottom of my fridge freezer, and coolant gas leaked out. The water may well have been the liquid may well have been water because it was clear, but I don't really know.
But yeah, you don't want it because God knows what black magic goes on inside a fridge, and you don't want to mess with that.
So the moral of the story, to I'm sure the many, many people who are listening right now who from time to time will chisel away at ice in their freezer, is if you're going to do it, make sure you're only doing it on pull-out drawers. Do not do it on the outer, the inside of the freezer, but the actual structural makeup of the freezer itself, because God, the gas is very close to the surface in a fridge freezer.
No. So what happened to your Tesco shop? Because I assume if you had any stuff that needed to be chilled, like that's just gone to waste? Or?
So everything that could be chilled or frozen, I was thinking some of this stuff I might be able to salvage by either like asking a neighbour or someone if I could just put it in their fridge or freezer.
Can my food rent your fridge for a bit? Yeah,
pretty much. Or, I was trying to work out what I could do with it. And then this was after the firemen had gone. I picked it all up. I just put it in the corner of the room, and it smelled really strongly of the stuff, because I guess it had been just shut in a fridge freezer that had this gas circulating in it, and it had just tainted all of my food. And I was like, even if there was a way for me to keep this chilled, that's just fucked now.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I'm not eating that. So I just binned it all, and I hated doing it. But
bless you.
So yeah.
So you without a fridge at the minute, or are you?
I am. It's supposed to be coming on Monday. The lift has finally been fixed in my building as of Friday. All week, the fridge freezer man has been like, look, I'll come and deliver a fridge freezer for you, but if you're on the 4th floor, what do you want me to do? Like, I can't get a fridge freezer up there. So he's been waiting for the lift to be fixed. But it's done. There was a little fake detail in there, Mikey.
I was just about to ask, because I didn't pick up on anything that could have been... the fireman entering the room saying, that smells funky, but I assume that wasn't a literal quote.
That was a literal quote.
Wait, really?
A Geordie fireman opened the fridge door and went, oh man, that's a really funky smell, that.
Oh man, well I'm glad that's real. I not a single thing in that made me, other than that, made me think, no, Peter's telling a fib here.
Okay, well, when I made the hole in the fridge freezer, liquid came out and did go on my jeans, but it did not go in my face and burn my eyes.
Oh,
man.
I was so worried for you there, Peter, because I was like, that's one of my worst fears, is getting stingy liquid in my eyes.
Well, because if it had done, I think if I'd got stingy liquid in my eyes, I would have also ended the night by probably getting that checked out in A&E, which would have been part of the story. But
true.
No, it didn't go. It went on my jeans and probably a little bit on my skin. But as I say, I jumped in the shower. But I think it might have been liquid, because any coolant in a fridge freezer is supposed to be in gas form pretty much all the time, I think. So it was probably just like condensed water. But anyway,
is my forfeit for not guessing it to join the royal family.
You have to come over to my flat where the old fridge freezer is still just sitting downstairs in the car park, and open it and stick your head in it and take a big breath.
Spend 5 minutes in the Doom fridge.
Yeah.
The Doom fridge.
It's-
Lock me in there for a bit. I deserve it.
It still smells horrible.
Really?
I've checked it since then. I think it's just sort of, it's not still like actually leaking gas, but it's just sort of, there's bits of gas still in there.
It's gas stained.
Small chunks of gas.
Yeah, it's sort of gas stained, I think is the word. So, yeah. So there you go.
Thank you for sharing.
It was semi-life-threatening, or it could have been, because they said it didn't smell like the regular semi-safe coolant gas that you normally have in a fridge freezer. So I don't know what it was, but I'm
It's
okay.
had real knock-on irritating effects for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest. Like the first day or so after it happened, I did feel like, am I a little bit lightheaded? And I could smell the stuff wherever I went. Like every now and then I would get a little whiff of the gas, and I was like, that's just clearly up in my nose. Like it's probably just bound to like all the membranes inside all my sinuses, and I'm just smelling it from time to time. So I was a little bit like, if I'd continued to feel like that for any longer than I did, I might have like maybe been to the GP or something. But anyway,
I guess that's you're going to be like hyper attentive. You're going to be thinking like any little thing which you normally like pass off as like, wait, am I dying now?
No, definitely. I think there was definitely an element of that, because I'm a bit of a hypochondriac at the best of times. But
Let alone when you sprayed with weird liquid.
yeah, so I think I was just, if I was tired and I felt a little bit like, lightheaded, or like my eyes were a bit sore, I'd be like, oh, my eyes, is that from the fridge gas? Oh,
It's got gas eyes.
yeah. So
Maybe you get a superpower. Who knows?
yeah,
You'd be
fridge man,
Iceman.
Gee, you
Fridge man.
could.
gas man. That's
There
you.
can't be two fridge men. Peter's waiting for a fridge man to deliver.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's true.
so you
can't have another one.
He's
You
not
have
much
to
of a
have a fight.
superhero though if he can't deliver it to the 4th floor.
Well, maybe that's not one of his powers. Maybe it's just bringing it to a lift.
Yeah.
That's it. It's his power. Do you remember that that time you came to visit Peter, and Jules was there as well, and I had water coming through my ceiling,
Yes.
and we had to call the firemen or women then as well
Oh god!
to come out because it was coming through light fixtures and stuff.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, did they? Yeah, they did come, didn't they? I remember.
Yeah, they came in all their gear and stuff to have a look.
Did you call 999?
No, non-emergency number.
Oh right.
Just to get them out. Yeah, it's. I don't know how you felt when you had to call them, but I've never really had to call the services before,
I was
be
thinking
they
that, yeah.
ambulance, fire department, or police. So it was a bit nerve-wracking. I was just, well, the internet told me that I should call
Yeah.
you because
You
what
do
was
feel like a
coming
big
through the
pretender.
power.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun though. Got a photo of all the firemen in my flat. I was like, yeah, here we go.
Content.
Party's kicking off. Content. That's what I was thinking. Oh, dear. Well, that was a wonderful thing, Peter. And I hope your fridge gets installed soon.
Yeah, me too. The worst thing is I'm having to buy like kind of ready meals every night, because anything that serves 2 or more, I can't keep it chilled for the next night. So I'm having to buy stuff that serves 1 person, or stuff that is like dry and can be kept dry in a cupboard overnight. So yeah, so
What's the weirdest meal you've had this week?
do you know what? I had a weird I remember telling Amy like 2 days ago that I had a really weird meal that night, but I can't even remember what it was now. I'll have to think. I'll get back to you on that. I did have a weird combo the other day.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Right. Question time. It's from Barbarossa at Redbeard Maximus on Twitter. Let me try that again.
Okay.
Did any of you ever take a massive shortcut when completing a task at school / around home / at work, etc., and ended up getting massively found out? Or better yet, did you get away with it?
Ooh.
This is the well. I think I used to spy on other people's tests and exams and stuff when I could.
No.
I think 1 week in like year 3 it must have been. No, year 2. So that would have been about 2002. Oh God, how old was I? 8 years old. There we go. we used to have like weekly spelling tests just to, help us expand our vocabulary and get better at spelling. And our teacher would hand out, the list of words earlier on in the week for us to kind of practice and learn and get used to. I kept the answer sheet in my drawer in my desk, and I referred to it during the entire test.
No,
And
Michael.
the teacher looked over and saw me glancing in my drawer, probably quite obviously, and took it off me and said he was extremely disappointed in me, and I felt sick.
Spell disappointed, Michael.
Oh, God. So look in the mirror.
Oh, no. What about you, Peter?
I'm trying to think, like, shortcuts. I can think of times I definitely cheated on some, like, mock or, like, a practice paper it was. It wasn't a mock, but... So it was just in class, but it was like GCSEs, and we were all meant to be sitting in exam conditions. And, you're only cheating yourself in that situation, aren't you? Because this is supposed to be like, will I be able to successfully do the actual GCSE? Which I would not have cheated in. But what I did was there were just a few things that I needed to remember. I remember it now really well because I cheated on it, and it just got emblazoned into my brain. But there was this thing in biology which is about cells splitting and the processes that they go through, and it was prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase, right? And I knew all of those words, but I could never remember the order that they came in. So all I did was I carved very lightly into my ruler PMAT, and it was so light that you couldn't see it looking at the ruler unless you slightly tilted the ruler so that the light was just shining on it in a certain way.
That is really good. What the fuck?
It was a really good way, because I was like, I can't write on my hand. I can't, have a little piece of paper because I might get caught out doing that. So,
and even if someone does see that, like, that's going to be meaningless to most people.
yeah, because even the best thing about a biology test is there was occasionally a little bit of, sort of drawing to do. Like, you might have to draw a diagram. So, I would be allowed to have a ruler anyway. Whereas if it was a different, say it was an English test or something, you don't really need a ruler in that. So why have you got your ruler on your desk? But yeah, it was one of those like semi-clear plastic rulers, and if you just carve very lightly onto those, you can, and all it was like 4 letters just to help me remember the order. But it was definitely cheating.
Naughty.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. So you didn't get caught?
No, and I remember it now. I don't need the ruler.
Hey, well, there you go. Well, maybe it learned. It was a learning tool.
It was.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's really helped you in your career as well.
It has. Yeah.
Really became very useful. As an anecdote,
Yeah.
it's been
there
very
you go.
useful.
Yeah, there we go.
That was the whole point of school, was anecdotes, it seems.
Yeah.
And trauma that you sort of learn from.
Oh, boy.
Mine, weirdly, is also school and a test.
Oh, right. Okay.
So this was primary school. I was probably about, maybe 8 or 9, about that age. And there was a spelling test. And the thing is, I can't remember how I cheated, but I did. And I'd never cheated before, ever. And I was never inclined to cheat, but for some reason I did. And I think I did it in a way that I didn't get all of them right.
Clever.
I just wanted to get a higher score. And I ended up getting the best score in the class.
Whoops.
And so I was like, I think that class clapped, and there was like some sort of exchanging of rewards for winning at spelling.
Oh, dear.
And I felt so guilty about it that when I went to bed that night, I couldn't sleep. And I went down and I confessed it all to my dad, and I cried because I cheated on this
too
spelling
much.
test.
Oh.
And I never came clean to any of the teachers or anything, because I think my dad knew that spelling tests ultimately weren't going to be,
A child doesn't deserve to be punished.
You weren't going
for
to go to
this.
prison for it.
Exactly. Yeah, it wasn't going to negatively affect anything, but
Did he
got
tell
away
you
with
you
it.
shouldn't have done it, though, young man?
I don't really remember. I don't think I think there was mainly just sort of it was positive reinforcement of like you obviously know you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Which is probably the way to go about it, rather than you piece of shit. Can you spell piece of shit? I bet you can't. You idiot boy.
Get out. Get out of this house.
suddenly remembered my most traumatic school moment.
Oh, Christ.
I must have mentioned it before, but we were in the middle of assembly once, and I just got the biggest urge to do a shit. Like, to the point where I was sweating, I was twitching.
How far in are we? 45 minutes? There's the poo or the fart.
Oh, there we go, finally.
What you got there?
The whole school would sit on the floor in this big hall, and I was sat there, like, sweating like a motherfucker, knees weak, arms heavy. I have spaghetti coming out my arse.
There's shit in
Just
my pants already.
Full of mum spaghetti.
Yeah.
Oh, that was better, Peter. You did a better one.
Nice. And for some reason, rather than just quietly getting up and leaving the room, because I think I was scared I'd get told off, like, oh, where are you going, boy? I put my hand up and asked the head teacher who was, leading this assembly, and asked, can I go to the toilet? And he went, oh, yes, go on. And as I troddled off, the whole school laughed at me.
Oh,
No,
Michael.
I can picture the waddling.
Just
The
like
toilet waddle.
Oh, that was
That boy's going to poo himself.
It could have been even worse, though. First I thought you were going to say you put your hand up and you were so bothered about going that you didn't even think to sort of use an epithet. So you just went, can I go for a poo, please, miss?
It might be a long one.
And then when you didn't say that, I thought that you were going to say when you stood up, you'd let out a massive fart. But
Yeah, I thought that was what was going to happen as well.
Oh, that would have been so good. Fuck. Sadly, I did make it to the toilet. I was just harshly embarrassed.
Well done. Well done. Todd McAdam.
I just remembered another thing.
Oh, God. Okay, go on. Firstly, we're back at school now. You've got to apologise to Todd.
Sorry, Todd.
There we go.
I for some reason I think I was a prolific pooer in the school. And I don't know why, but like a lot of kids would refuse to use the toilets at school to do their business.
Yeah.
But I was kind of, if I need to go out, I can't hold this in.
You were the reason, Michael. You were the reason people didn't want to.
One day, the teacher comes in and says, "Someone smeared poo on the wall. Was it you, Michael?"
Hang on, that's a loaded question.
Was it you, Michael?
That's so damaging to your what I'm certain was really, really good reputation at school.
Everyone looked at me and was like, "Yeah, Michael could have done that, couldn't he?"
Yes, it's got big Michael energy.
When we were in primary school, someone once did a poo in the urinal.
Nice.
And also, that reminds me of a story. There used to be a program called Law of the Playground on TV, where they would just get a load of like sort of B-list British celebrities to just tell stories about when they were at these kind of stories, basically about when they were at school. Yeah. And one guy, I can't remember who it was, said that they came into assembly one morning, and the headmaster had he'd asked all the boys to stay behind after assembly, and he said very angrily to all the boys, "Right. According to the caretaker, last night, one boy defecated on the toilet floor in the boys' toilets." And one kid leaned over to another kid and said, "What does defecated mean?" And another kid turned to him and said, "I think it's a type of coffee." I love that so much.
Oh, imagine I could never be a head teacher because the shit you have to put up with, and B also explain. You've got to be angry at kids for shitting on floors.
Yeah,
and getting in fights. And I'm not built for that.
Right, let's see if we can go the rest of the episode without talking about bowels.
I think we got it out of our system there. That was nice.
Literally.
Well, literally. Yeah, nice. High five. Hi. Good stuff. Okay, Todd McAdam. Sorry, Todd. At Todzilla92. Fucking rad, my dude. Many people over the last 2 years have said that you help them out when it comes to mental health. But what do you guys go to support yourselves? Thanks for the great content and constant implicit emotional support.
Oh. Well, that's an interesting question. I think when I really need an actual person, I either go to family or my fiance. I think Ben and I helped each other out a little bit, mental health wise, when we were down in Bristol. I mean, Mikey too, but I mean, I stayed at Ben's at times. Ben stayed at mine a couple of nights. Yeah. So don't know, friends and family, I guess. But I'm trying to think. There must also be just some sort of chill out kind of. I'm sad, so I'm going to watch this program kind of thing that I think we probably all have one of those. I don't know what mine is, but if you guys have something like that.
I like Taskmaster. It's very soothing.
Yeah.
There's all these weird tasks being performed. It's just kind of like on YouTube as well. Like I think the official Taskmaster channel are uploading compilations of the best bits. It's like, oh, it's in my recommended. Fuck it, I'll do it. That's good. That's easy access.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a talker. I don't talk about my things with friends or family. So I turn to Taskmaster as my source of comfort, and the ferrets and Claudia.
It's another
I guess.
Dave, isn't it? You just can't get enough Daves in your life.
Oh, I just love a big Dave.
Oh dear, that sounds weird.
It did sound weird. This actually this question segues into my thing. I hope you don't mind me sliding in here, Mikey.
Ooh.
But before I get onto my thing, is there anything else that you guys would like to offer up to people in regards to how to sort of help yourselves and so on?
I mean, I would say that I would always recommend speaking to friends and family about these kind of things. It's always nice. We've said this before. It's nice to know that people can watch our content in the same way they can watch Taskmaster, or I can watch ancient British trackways with Tony Robinson and feel quite zen. But that's only a sticking plaster, really.
Yeah.
And if you're actually feeling having a bad time and you're struggling, you should definitely speak to people who love you. And they are out there, and you might be convinced that they don't want to know that they don't want me to be they don't want to be burdened with my problems. Those people would much rather you spoke to them and hopefully felt a little better than just carried on feeling a bit plops. So
because no one minds if you unload on them a little bit. It's better than bottling it up, because that's when things get bad, when you just kind of push it down and you try and ignore it, then eventually it just gets too much, and that's when bad things happen.
Definitely.
Just be honest, talk to people. Everyone wants to hear you, everyone loves you, you're wonderful people.
You do. That's it.
Definitely. So I've got some mental health applications.
Ooh.
These are apps that you can download for your phone.
Yes, you told me about these when I was feeling plops.
Yeah, and I just thought it would be nice, especially given the time of year, and people are always going through stuff, and people are some are more prone to feel certain ways than others, but everybody has difficult times in their life. So I feel like it's an important thing not only to talk about, and I feel like there's not really a stigma around it at all anymore. So saying that this is sort of an attempt to destigmatize it isn't actually that accurate. But I do feel like hang on, let me get the question back up. As Todd said, we do get a lot of questions about this kind of stuff, and a lot of people do say that we have helped them through difficult times. So I feel like it's an important subject for us to sort of broach and discuss. So these are all apps that you can get for your phone. They are all free. They are all on iOS and Android. So you can get all of them, and they actually, if you're wondering, sort of, there's a sort of what is it? What's the line in Star Wars where they're talking about the Jedi religion, or Han Solo is, when he's first talking to Luke?
It's a bunch of hokey religions and magic powers or something. Not as good as a blaster at your side is a paraphrased version. Is that what you want?
Exactly.
That
Thank you. That's basically it. If you're hearing this and thinking, well, it's probably a load of bollocks, isn't it? It's just apps. These are actually, they come recommended to me by my mother, which should be, in and of itself, enough for you to take it at face value that it's good. But if you want a little bit of a background about my mother, she's a specialist community public health nurse with 15 years of experience and a community practice teacher. So she's responsible for the practice element of the master's level school nursing qualification in her NHS trust. So this is all stuff that they use within the NHS, at least on a sort of a student level, but it's absolutely applicable for everybody.
Well read
as long
there,
as you've got
Ben.
a phone.
Well,
thank you.
Good job on reading out that thing that you were definitely reading off a piece of paper there.
Yeah. Could you tell I wrote it down?
Yeah.
I definitely texted my mum to just say, can you just tell me what it is you do?
Yeah.
So I can let people know, give it a bit more credence. So these are the apps that they use. One of them is called Mindshift, They're all sort of quite similar, but they offer different things. Another one is called SAM, S-A-M, and I think the full title of the app is Self-Help for Anxiety Management. Stop, Breathe, and Think. And then the last two are two that I've actually used myself, and I think they're very good. There's Headspace, which some people might have heard of. The full app name is Headspace Meditation and Sleep, which is a meditation app, but it's not about sort of that Zen yoga nonsense. It's not about sort of finding your inner peace and wokeness and stuff. It's directly relates to mental health. It's about sort of working on your skills of managing your thoughts and trying to push through the bullshit and just sort of calm yourself with breathing exercises and things like that. So within the app itself, there are premium plans that you can subscribe to, but it does have a free course of daily exercises, and it will send you a push notification saying, oh, time to do your daily breathing. So you can set it in the morning if you wake up half an hour early, or in the evening just before you go to bed. And it's basically voiceover of a very soothing voiced man who talks you through breathing in and breathing out. And why not imagine yourself in this place? And it's all just very calming, and it helps if you're having a difficult time. Yeah. And the second one, which I think is actually really good, is called Woebot, as in robot, but spelt W-O-E, Woebot. And all of these on some level, but this one in particular, use cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, to sort of help, again, just sort of manage the thoughts in your head when it all becomes a bit too overwhelming. Yeah. But what I like about Woebot is that when you first start it up, you have to give it some information about yourself, and you have to enable push notifications. But it's basically a bot, as the name implies, but it's sort of a text conversation. So you can open it up when you're having a difficult time and just type whatever you want, and it will reply as if it's a text within the app. And you can have a conversation back and forth, and it's programmed to ask you questions that you can reply to and work through various things. And because it's got push notifications, it will, depending on how you set it up, it will check in with you throughout the day, and it will just be like getting a text from Woebot just saying, hey, how you doing? Do you want to check in? And you can just open it up and have a conversation with a bot that's programmed with this sort of cognitive behavioral therapy stuff to ask you questions about how you're doing and work through those thoughts, and just sort of, it's all there to just, all of these apps are there, as I've said, to just sort of help you filter through stuff when it gets a bit too heavy for you.
Because CBT is essentially, it allows you to step back, reassess a situation, and because in the moment you might be looking at things with like a twisted lens, and that helps you just kind of put things in literal, English. You think through it, you think, oh wait, no, it's not that bad. This is the It's like CBT is kind of the first real starting point for most
change
kind
your
of
thinking.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I've got one final little paragraph here, which I think shouldn't go without saying. All of these apps have been used with my mum's students. Some like them, some don't. So it might be worth just giving them a go and seeing what works for you. The two that I've tried were very good. I haven't tried the other ones, but they're of a very similar sort of approach. In the UK, obviously, we're fortunate to have free GP access, but it is important to note that the apps don't replace getting specialist help. No. So always seek the help of a relevant medical professional where possible. But, if you're having a hard time sleeping or things are getting a bit too much, try those apps out. That's Headspace, Meditation and Sleep, Woebot, Stop, Breathe and Think, SAM, Self-Help for Anxiety Management, and Mindshift are the different apps. So I just thought it would be, just take a minute to have a look at those apps and see if they work for you. And I hope it helps.
Well, what a good thing to bring along to talk about.
Thing.
Thank you. That's my thing. I think we should just roll straight into Mikey's thing.
Well, let's go for a tonal shift, I guess.
Yeah. Now that we're all feeling zen,
yeah.
Where are you taking us?
Hiya, I'm Mikey, and I've brought 10 reasons to hate yourself.
10 coolest suicides in history.
Oh, God.
Fucking hell, Michael.
No, it is. Well, it's grueling. It's the 1904 Summer Olympics men's marathon.
Oh,
It is quite possibly the most grueling sporting event in professional sports history. Mm-hmm. So I've written up like a little story of like the events. So I'll begin.
Okay.
Marathons are probably one of the most iconic and grueling sporting events in the world. Nowadays, the events are highly organised and have plenty of rules and safety regulations in place to protect the runners. But during the marathon event of the 1904 Olympic Games in St. Louis, it was possibly one of the most brutal sporting events in history. You can tell I wrote this in 4 a.m. because there's just a random during in there. I apologise for how all over the place this is going to be.
That's okay.
I'm ready.
It'll be a marathon, not a sprint.
Oh. So 5 American athletes took part. They were all relatively skilled and had plenty of experience running before, but the same couldn't be said for the rest of the runners. Among the participants were 10 Greeks who had never competed in a marathon before.
Ugh.
2 South Africans took part, but this is only by chance because they're in fact only in the city to attend the World's Fair that was taking place at the same time, and they essentially were just commandeered to take part in this marathon.
Oh my
wow.
God.
Just like, yeah, you can come run with us, can't you? And they also chose to run the race barefoot because, of course.
Oh, God.
Felix, who is my favourite in all this, was a Cuban mailman. He arrived at the starting line wearing a pair of street shoes, long dark trousers, and a beret. And he had the most majestic mustache ever. It was amazing. And kindly, before the race began, someone trimmed his trousers to knee length.
Oh, that's nice. What year was this?
1904.
Oh, God, okay. Right.
So the mistakes start piling up. Firstly, was hosting the event in the afternoon in the middle of summer. Usually, marathons are held at an optimal time of the day where the temperature is going to be at its lowest and giving the runners the best chance to, perform. This meant that the athletes were performing in degrees of 86 degrees Fahrenheit or around 30 degrees Celsius.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The race itself started in the Olympic Stadium and it looped back around to the Olympic Stadium. But the entire place took place on public dirt roads that weren't closed off. They were all still in use. This meant that athletes battled dogs, trolley cars, wagons, and railroad trains. Basically, they were against the world. But, that's fine. It's a bit of a challenge. That's fine. As long as the athletes have access to water, that'd help them get through the 26-mile ordeal, right? No. On the 26-mile route, there was 2 sources of water. And this wasn't, a table where people were handing out cups of water. The first of which, 6 miles in, was a water tower. So if they wanted to have water, they'd have to climb up and get water from it.
What?
Yeah. The next was 11 miles in, which was a public well. Again, so they'd have to physically stop and go out the way to get water.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, that means that even if the runners made it like halfway into the race, it's another 13 miles before they finish and are allowed to have water. Ugh. Turns out this was completely intentional too. The organizer of the games wanted to test the limits and effects of purposeful dehydration.
Wow.
So chose an Olympic event as an experiment. And now the race begins.
The legality of that, though,
know.
is so questionable.
Just pulling in a mailman and a couple of tourists, effectively, and saying, hey, you'll join.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Okay.
3:03 p.m. the race began. Bang! That's me setting the scene. The gun going. Everyone sprints in fear. So yeah, race began at 3:03, and it wasn't long before they hit a snag. One of our poor South African runners encountered a pack of farm dogs who promptly attacked him, and he was forced over a mile off course.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Our Cuban mailman friend stopped at a car and asked the driver for a peach. They refused his offer, and so he stole 2 and ran off with the goods.
Oh, Jesus.
However, this didn't quite fill him up, because it turns out he hadn't eaten for 40 hours prior to the race.
Oh, my God.
The reason why? He started in New Orleans and lost all his money, so he had to hitchhike his way to the event.
Oh, no.
So he barely made it to the starting line in time.
He can't have known what kind of running event he'd signed up for. This guy clearly thought he was just going to be doing the 1,500 meters.
Yeah, like a little run. It'd be nice. Like
who in their
friendly
right
jog.
mind would even bother starting the run after 40 hours of no food?
I know, it's madness. So obviously he's a hungry boy, and luckily he found an apple orchard. Ate a few apples, turned out to be
Sorry, an
rotten.
apple what?
Orchard? Orchard. Sorry, I'm thinking of flower, an apple flower.
So what's an apple orchid?
Oh, I
that
see,
sounds
yeah.
amazing.
Oh, it's my mistake. I was... Oh, there we go.
It's okay, we got there.
Orchard. He took some apples, ate a few. Turns out the majority of them were rotten, started violently vomiting, and then took a nap next to the orchid.
As a lot of people do in a marathon.
Yeah, like a nap mid-race is normal. To add to the pain, Olympic officials chose to ride in cars ahead of the competitors, kicking up unavoidable dust into the competitors' lungs, because this is all just dirt tracks. One of the competitors almost died after the dust covered his esophagus and ripped his stomach lining.
Oh, Jesus.
One by one, our novelty athletes started to drop in numbers, and now it's time for the pros to show us how it's done. Or not. One of the competitors' race came to a premature end after suffering from a sudden bout of vomiting. He was overtaken by another athlete, and it wasn't long before that person suffered severe cramps and slowed to a complete stop. Enter Fred Laws, one of the Americans. He was able to catch up, but at this point he too was suffering cramps after about 9 miles. His solution to these cramps? He jumped in a car and rode his way along further down the track.
Oh my God.
He was seen waving at spectators and competitors from his comfy throne. So he just fucking skipped the competitive aspect of it and just thought, fuck it, well, I can just drive to the beginning. Why can't I do that? Another American athlete named Hicks persisted, even after seeing this dickhead, to be quite honest, drive past him. He was pushing forward, but his trainers had to restrain him from stopping. They were physically forcing him to continue running against pretty much his will.
God.
16 miles in, his body was borderline shutting down, and he started begging his trainers for water. His trainer opted to sponge his mouth out with distilled water instead and just sent him on his way. So a little bit of hydration. I guess it's better than nothing.
Ugh.
This gave him about 3 more miles of energy before he just started totally flagging again. At this point, his doctor jumped to the rescue, and he gave him a small dose of sulfate strychnine, basically rat poison.
Oh my God.
Strychnine, I think.
Strychnine, that's it.
Strychnine.
Thank you.
That's poison. Strychnine.
Yeah, it turns out though, if you use it in very small doses, it acts as a stimulant.
Right.
So it kind of basically...
Good to know.
Yeah, there you go. If you're ever feeling a little bit down, you see some rat poison on the floor, give it a little nibble.
Oh God. Do
Do a
not
line.
do that. Just
Do a line.
we do not recommend having a little bit of rat poison.
Yeah, it's
Just
not
a
recommended.
bit. Just sprinkle a bit on your spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah, just a shaving.
Up all night to get lucky. Go on, do it.
So yeah, this helped push him on. He was full of rat poison and he was ready to run.
He'd sponged his mouth. He had some rat poison. He was going to win this marathon.
He reached the 20-mile marker before he started to turn grey. He powered on until he was 2 miles from the finish line. At this point, he was hallucinating heavily and believed he still had another 20 miles to run.
Oh.
God.
So he was just in absolute agony, in pain. He was begging his team for just some food, anything to help him get along. So they topped him up with a bit of brandy and sent him on his way.
For God's sake.
What happened to our friend who jumped in a car to help skip some of the race? Well, he travelled a good 11 miles in comfort before it broke down, so he hopped out and continued the race. The other team saw this happening and demanded he forfeit the event for cheating. But he just kept running. He wasn't going to stop for nothing. He thought, fuck it, I'm ahead. I'm going to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
He finished way ahead of the hallucinating Hicks and came first in the race.
Right.
He was greeted by a thrilled crowd who were just overjoyed that an American had won. President Theodore Roosevelt's daughter, Alice, placed a wreath on his head and was just about to give him the medal when someone suddenly called for a halt to the fiasco and insisted that Laws was an imposter. Instead of panicking, he just smiled and claimed, it's just joking. I was never really going to accept the award anyway.
Right.
Wow. He's one of those guys, huh?
Yeah, a prick. Hicks, on the verge of collapse, heard what had happened up ahead, so they helped push him to keep going. He heard that Laws was disqualified. He thought, well, fuck it, I'm in first place now. I can keep pushing. All I've got to do is get over this finish line.
Laws actually went down that night to see his dad and cried and said, Dad, I'm really sorry, but I cheated today
sorry.
at school in the marathon.
The whole bus clapped and it was mortifying.
But he didn't cross the finish line by his own volition. His two trainers were carrying him, and he was just simulating running. So this man with his legs just kicking frantically was getting carried over the finish line.
It sounds like he's been replaced by a Muppet.
So yeah, but luckily he got over the finish line. He was awarded first place, and with the aid of 4 doctors, he was able to survive the ordeal.
God.
But what happened to our little Cuban friend who took a nap? Well, at some point during this time, he was invigorated. He woke up and he managed to finish 4th.
Really? Wow.
So even with a vomity nap break, he still managed to finish 4th. I think. And yeah, so first place was, I guess, rightly won by the right person. But Jesus Christ, I guess that wouldn't be allowed in today's games.
He also did technically cheat on that last mile, just being carried by...
Yeah.
But bless him, he earned
He
it.
did. He had a real tough time of it there.
That's
I think-
amazing.
On the Wikipedia page, it lists about 32 participants. A good half of them didn't even finish, and they only have times for the first 3 people, and it's all about 3-4 hours. But
Jesus, when are we getting a film of this?
I would love to just play it out in real time. I want to see what happens.
God.
I have a recommendation actually. There's a fantastic mockumentary. There's a couple that I can't remember which studio did, but they're sort of portrayed as real sports documentaries from HBO, and they've got I think they've got Andy Samberg in and like a couple of other comedians as well. They're comedies, but they're presented like real sports documentaries. There's one called 7 Days in Hell, which is about the longest game of tennis ever, where it's Andy Samberg, who's like the adopted. He was adopted by the Williams family, so he's like the white brother of the Williams sisters,
Right.
and he's just like this party bad boy. And then he's opposite the extremely English. What's the guy who played Kit Harington? Plays the other, and it's this tennis game that goes on for 7 days, and it's that's really funny. But this sounds just like the other one they did, which I think I prefer, called Tour de Pharmacy, which is just another fake documentary, but about the Tour de France. But everybody's on drugs the whole way around.
That sounds amazing.
One of the competitors is just John Cena on a bike, and he's like, "No, I haven't taken any drugs." And it's just this huge hulking man on a bike. And they're like, one of them like gets off a bike and just goes and gets married and has an affair with a local French woman, and then just gets back on and continues the race. Like it sounds as ridiculous as this real world story.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see this turned into a film.
Yeah, holy shit! Maybe this will be the next in this series of films. Hopefully.
I love that the guy at the beginning who got chased by dogs ran a mile off course. Like, if I was being chased by dogs during a marathon, I'd probably at least, kill 2 birds with 1 stone and run away from them on the course. But, maybe...
You just couldn't be stopped.
Yeah.
I think the South Africans did continue on to finish the race, but I'm not sure of the place. So it sent them off course, but they kept going for whatever reason.
God, amazing.
Outstanding.
Cute.
There's a photo of John Cena on a bike.
Christ, yeah, he looks...
Well, and it's
tanky.
intercut with like talking heads of various people as well, and one of them is a very, very poorly disguised actual Lance Armstrong. And as it goes on, like they just start opening curtains and stuff until you can just see it's Lance Armstrong, and he's still got his voice lowered to disguise it. It's so good. It's really good.
Oh, I
I
like
get-
Andy Samberg. He's a good boy.
Yeah, I recommend people watch that if they enjoyed that story. And what a story it was. Thank you for that thing, Michael.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So we do have one final question, but we're running a bit long. So I'm literally just going to need a one or the other answer from you, just a single word answer, okay? We're not going to be able to explore this at all, unfortunately.
Wow, okay.
Oh,
This is from Lloyd Narja at Lloyd91 on Twitter. Would you rather safely go to the moon or to the bottom of the deepest ocean trench?
Oh, God.
bottom
Yeah.
of the deepest ocean trench. I'd be terrified, but I want to see what's down there.
Okay, Peter?
Do we know it's safe?
I know you like both.
Do we know ahead of time that we're going to be safe?
Would you rather safely go to the moon or to the bottom of the deepest
The
ocean
moon.
trench? I'd rather go to the moon as well.
I'd be too scared.
Wow,
Too scared in the sea. Even if I knew I was safe, I just wouldn't want to see the monsters.
Oh, God, yeah, you're right now. I mean, we're not supposed to be discussing this, but
No,
now I think
but-
about it more, I regret my choice. But, oh, well, I'm going down now. Goodbye.
Because I'd love to go to the moon, but the reason I wouldn't go is because I'd be too scared. But if it was going to be safely, I would go to the moon for sure.
Yeah. I'd like to leave the planet. That would be exciting.
Yeah. Oh, I went for the boring one, didn't I?
Yeah, you fucking did. No, the Deepest Ocean Trench would be really exciting, but it was just, yeah. I think I'd
there's a
rather
lot
go
of
to the moon.
unexplored monsters. Well, not monsters. Nice little fish down there.
Yeah.
I'd love to see.
100%. Now, before we move on to the outro, would you guys like the next part of the Hoover story?
Oh, yeah. I had a note to ask about that, so I'm very glad you came with it.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So remind me where we got up to with the Hoover story.
So there was a bit of dirt on the floor. I thought, I'll Hoover that.
Oh yeah.
I turned on the Hoover, ran it over with the Hoover. It didn't Hoover.
Oh, my God.
That was the first part of the story. Are
Yeah.
you ready? So at this point, I'm thinking, God, this is... what a fucking nightmare. I just wanted the dirt gone. That's all... This is all this thing is meant to do. So I unplugged it. I flipped the Hoover over and I thought, I'll have a look to see if there's a little blockage. And you'll never guess what I saw.
Are we going to find out next week?
No, have a guess.
oh, God.
Some more dirt.
A tiny picture of Dave Benson Phillips.
I saw a blockage. And that's where we'll leave it.
Oh my god.
Oh, you monster.
Oh,
No, we'll have to pick up next time. Sorry, everyone. I know
I'm on
everyone's...
the edge of my seat.
It's really exciting.
a blockage.
Let's move on to the outro of the show here.
Mikey, do you think it might turn out that Kevin has been sucked up into Ben's Hoover and has been blocked?
Oh, my God. That would be a development.
It would, wouldn't it? Let's find out next week.
It looks like you're browsing the Hoover subreddit there, where they're all just going crazy for this. All the theories, the fan theories. You seen the
Yeah.
YouTube videos about the theories?
Conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, about what's in the Hoover. Store.yorkscast.com if you'd like to buy some merchandise. Mikey, I think there's a discount code.
You bet your arse there's a discount code. Use code VIDIOTS for 10% off everything on the Yogscast store. You can use that to buy some stuff that's on that shop. I couldn't open the website in time, so I'm no idea what's going on, but I'm sure there's just so much lovely stuff on there. But obviously, the best bit of the whole website is the Vidiots store. So if you could be so kind as to use your 10% off code on some of our stuff, that would be lovely. Use code VIDIOTS for 10% off.
Is the Vidiots part of the store? Do we know it's still live?
Oh, yeah, we're still on there.
Oh, okay, that's nice. I haven't
You
checked
haven't
it
been
for a while.
struck off, thank God.
Okay, well, we'll see. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all.com/Vidiots
Vidiots
official. And also twitch.tv/Vidiots official, where we stream sometimes. I streamed a couple of weeks ago. Thank you so much to everybody who came and watched, and I apologize for being just so drunk. The whole VOD is up on the YouTube channel now. It's like 7 hours, I think we ended up going for in the end, because we just can't stop.
Hours?
Yeah, did you not know this?
No.
It's
Yeah.
fucking madness.
Started at 7 p.m. and sort of ended at about 1:30, thereabouts.
God.
Yeah, went for a long old time. It was just lots of fun. I had a lot of fun. The people who came along, God, they slapped Richard. Oh, yeah. A whole load of fun were there. Streamlabs.com/Vidiots official if you'd like to donate financially and get a shout out and join Pod Squad. Speaking of which, are you ready for the Pod Squadrians?
Yes.
Here they come. Grape Coon, Lord Brotovich, Big Titty Jesus 42, Heinous Anus, Stephen Scodes, The Goatening, Big Nick, David the Knob, Rudy Rutabaga, The Parsnip Man, Captain Loogie, Xavier Ramramraz, Gracious Platypus, Top Shagger Cal, Matt Fulton, The Big Shagger, Long Dong Silver, L Baker 97, Cameron Skelly, Larger Than Life, One Vowel from She-Ra, and Arseface.
Lovely.
Thank you,
Thank
all
you,
of those
Squad.
beautiful people.
Fantastic names. Thank you so much. That's streamlabs.com/Vidiots official if you'd like to donate before the next recording. You will get a shout out. Thank you so much to everybody who has done so. Peter,
Yes.
if people want to see us on a daily basis, where can they go?
Team Triple Jump on YouTube and Twitch and social media. We're at Team Triple Jump on all of those things, and we're still making stuff. Me and Ben, we're still making the Vidiots things. Like Piece of Cake is now called Rules Boss. We're still doing Prove It. We're doing cooking shows called Main Menu. We do Worst Games Ever. We've got another podcast over there that's video game related. We've got all sorts of things going up for you.
Ooh. We actually had to work around the refrigeration
Oh God.
this week when we did a cooking show.
Yeah.
So we had ingredients that were just unrefrigerated for a long time.
Yeah, there's two episodes of Main Menu coming up in the next month or so where there's just no fridge in the background.
Oh, that's such a good prop as well.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. Yogscast. Mikey, that's where you be.
I'd be at that office doing things that I can't talk about because of NDAs. But if you want to see the fun stuff that I can talk about, best place is at Parrotboy on Twitter. It's mostly ferret pictures and videos at this point, so if you like that, head on over.
Full stop.
Ferret Boy.
Bam.
Ferret
Ferret
boy.
Boy. I really should change my name at this point.
No, you parrots. Holidays and parrots. We all know
Yeah.
that. That's how it is. Make sure you leave us an iTunes review or a review/rating on your platform of choice. It helps something to do with algorithms. And that is all. Does anybody have a final question to put to the audience?
I've got a question to put to the audience. Was it really Michael who smeared shit on the wall?
Please don't read me. No, I promise it wasn't me.
Someone's
you
put
so
shit
much.
on the wall. Was it you, Michael?
Thank you. I thought we weren't going to talk about poo anymore. Got right to the end. Talking about poo again. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. We will be back in a couple of weeks' time. Keep an eye out on Twitter for a podcast question post asking for questions. You can
And the Dave Benson Phillips
and
pictures.
Dave Benson Phillips pictures. That's when you know we're recording. That's the telltale. Okay, should we go, boys?
Let's.
Let's go.
Take care, everybody. Bye. Bye.